Okay, let's start with a big question. If artificial intelligence can automate, well, the heavy lifting on high-level essays and assignments, does that mean the traditional structure of education is already obsolete?
It's a challenging thought, isn't it?
It really is, and it gets right to the core tension we're exploring today.
Yeah, and that tension is summed up perfectly by a line from the book we're looking at. What faculty call cheating, business calls progress.
Oof, that quote definitely lands with impact.
It's meant to. It's like a necessary shock to the academic system, forcing educators to look up and see how fast the real world is changing its view on efficiency, often bypassing the very processes we value in education.
Absolutely. And speaking of getting the full picture, discover a new in-depth approach to book coverage with this extended summary.
That's right. Unlike our previous review, which was more of a focused analysis, this time we're delivering a really comprehensive overview.
We'll be tracing the intellectual roots, the key arguments, and the real-world impact of this subject.
And hey, if you appreciate this expanded format, if you find it helpful, please do let us know. Your feedback really helps shape what we do next.
So the book is Teaching with AI, a practical guide to a new era of human learning. The authors are Jose Antonio Bowen and C. Edward Watson.
And it's not some kind of doom and gloom prediction. It's positioned as a detailed, forward-thinking guide.
Aimed at helping educators, right, to see challenges like, say, academic integrity or just information overload.
Not as roadblocks, but actually as powerful opportunities. Opportunities for creativity and genuinely enhanced learning.
The core message seems pretty practical then. AI should be embraced as a partner, not feared as some kind of replacement.
Exactly. The authors argue pretty strongly that the educator's role is changing faster than ever. And technological literacy. It's not just a nice-to-have skill anymore.
It's fundamental for all faculty.
Absolutely. And they structure the guide really logically to help with that transition. It's broken down into three main sections: thinking with AI, teaching with AI, and learning with AI.
Makes sense. Moving from understanding the tech to using it in the classroom, and finally, rethinking how we even assess learning.
Precisely. It's a clear path.
It's kind of fitting we're talking about AI teaching tools because, speaking of tools, we should mention this.
Ah, yes. You are experiencing a unique two-host AI conversation powered by Google's NotebookLM.
Which allows us to create deeper, more dynamic book summaries for you.
Okay, so let's dive into part one, thinking with AI.
Right, the foundation. This is where the authors really make sure everyone's on the same page.
Yeah, they cover the AI basics, the terminology, how it works, recent advances. It's smart because you can't really build effective policy or strategy if people don't understand the basics.
No, you definitely need that shared understanding first.
But beyond the basics, the real weight of this first part, I think, comes from their analysis of the new era of work.
They really dig into how AI isn't just automating factory jobs, right? It's hitting white-collar work, specialized roles, pretty much everywhere.
Exactly. It's transforming these roles, which means the future workforce needs a radically different skill set than what we might be teaching now.
So if an AI can draft a decent press release or write basic code or, summarize a pile of articles,
then education can't just be about training students for those kinds of routine tasks anymore.
it has to prepare them for a future where automation handles the predictable stuff.
Which leads directly to the skill they highlight as absolutely essential: AI literacy.
And this isn't optional, they argue. It's crucial for both students and faculty.
Right. And literacy here means more than just knowing ChatGPT exists. It's about understanding how to prompt these tools effectively, how to manage their output.
And, maybe most importantly, how to use them to actually boost human creativity and problem solving, not just replace our own effort.
Yeah, using AI as a collaborator, not a crutch.
The authors get really practical here, too. They have this quote: AI literacy will need to include how to find the right AI for the job.
That's key. It's not one size fits all. You need to know the difference between tools.
Like knowing when to use a specialized AI search engine, maybe something like Consensus or Elicit for academic papers, versus using a visual AI like Midjourney for creating images. Different tools for different tasks.
It's like knowing which expert to consult. Students need to learn how to curate their own AI toolkit.
Okay, let's move into part two then. Teaching with AI. The focus shifts here to strategies for faculty.
And the immediate advice seems like it would be a huge relief for a lot of educators. Use AI tools to streamline the routine stuff.
You mean things like grading assistance? Or handling admin tasks like scheduling, maybe drafting standard emails?
Exactly. even creating basic quizzes. The idea isn't replacing teachers at all. It's about creating what they call AI-assisted faculty.
So using the tech to free up time.
Precisely. Freeing up time for the interactions that really matter. The core teaching, the personalized mentoring, the complex discussions, the things only a human can truly lead.
That sounds fantastic in theory. But here comes the tricky part, rethinking academic integrity.
Yeah, this is where it gets complex. If an AI can churn out a passing essay in, 60 seconds?
It forces you to ask, is the assignment itself the problem? Are we just testing memorization, or are we actually assessing critical thinking?
That's the core question. And the authors strongly argue against just relying on detection tools. They're really cautious about that.
Why? Don't those tools work?
Well, they detail the limitations. AI detection tools can give false positives, flag honest work, or they can be fooled by clever prompting techniques. They argue detection alone is unreliable.
So we need a bigger shift, a kind of holistic rethinking of what cheating even means in this new context.
Exactly. Which, admittedly, sounds like a huge task for faculty.
Yeah.
How do you grade the thinking process, the invisible work, if you can't fully trust the final product?
That is the challenge. Does the book offer concrete solutions?
It does. The key recommendation is collaboration
Collaboration. Between who?
between faculty and students. They push for developing clear classroom policies on AI use together, working with students to define ethical boundaries.
So treating AI use almost like citing any other source, making it transparent.
Pretty much. And then the rubrics, the grading criteria, they have to adapt. They need to prioritize and reward the human effort, the originality, the transparency about how AI was used.
So the focus shifts from, did you produce this output, to something more like, how did you produce it, and what unique human value did you add along the way?
You got it. That's the fundamental shift they're advocating for. And that shift in focus perfectly sets up part 3, learning with AI. Before we get to the big changes in assessment, they also talk about the student experience itself.
Right. How can generative AI be used interactively, not just for drafting papers?
Well, think about feedback. The book suggests using AI chatbots to provide instant, detailed feedback on things like writing drafts, or code snippets, or even presentation outlines.
The kind of specific granular feedback that one instructor might struggle to give to every single student consistently?
Exactly. It scales that personalized feedback potential.
Okay, that makes sense. What else?
And then there's the more creative stuff, like using AI for role-playing simulations.
Role-playing, how would that work?
Imagine, say, a medical student practicing diagnosing a complex case with an AI simulating a patient with realistic, evolving symptoms.
Wow, okay. Or maybe a business student practicing a tough negotiation scenario.
Precisely. It makes learning much more dynamic, more applied than just reading a textbook case study.
Very cool applications. Now let's talk about that assessment pivot you mentioned, redefining quality. This sounds like the really disruptive part.
It is. The authors make a bold claim. AI-generated output is rapidly becoming the new baseline for competence.
Meaning, if an AI can reliably write a B- essay or solve a standard math problem,
Then assessment can't just target that level anymore. That's the new average, maybe even the minimum expectation.
so assessment has to aim higher.
It has to pivot away from simply evaluating the final product and focus intently on things like originality, the student's thinking process, the specific human interventions.
The depth of critical engagement they show.
Exactly. That's the core idea.
So an assignment wouldn't just be write an essay on topic X anymore.
Probably not. It might be something like, use AI tool Y to generate an initial draft on topic X. Then your task is to critique its arguments, identify 3 specific factual errors, integrate insights from source Z which the AI couldn't access, and rewrite the introduction and conclusion, justifying all your changes.
Whoa. Okay, that inherently requires going beyond what the AI can do on its own.
It demands a higher level of thinking. It emphasizes transparency, showing your work, showing where the human added unique value. It shifts from information recall to synthesis, critique, and maybe even wisdom.
That's a significant shift in what we value in student work.
It absolutely is.
Okay, before we get into the ethics and implementation side of this, just a quick note. If you're finding this deep dive into complex ideas valuable, remember you can explore more on the Mindful Moments YouTube channel.
That's our channel, offering AI book analysis, summaries, critiques, all designed to inspire reflection and rational thought.
And it's actually really valuable content, especially for aspiring authors trying to understand narrative structure and critique in this, well, rapidly evolving landscape. Check it out.
So as exciting as all these potential applications are, the book definitely stays grounded. It dedicates serious attention to the ethical considerations and the practical challenges of actually implementing AI in education.
Which is crucial. What are some of the main concerns they raise?
Well, one big one is the data AI systems are trained on. If that data is biased or incomplete.
Then the AI's output can be biased, inaccurate, or just plain problematic.
Right. So the book really stresses that faculty and students need to critically scrutinize all AI-generated content. Verify it, don't just blindly accept it.
That sounds like a call for digital literacy again, but maybe a more critical version of it.
Definitely. And that connects directly to accountability. Because AI can generate stuff that sounds plausible, but is factually wrong.
There need to be clear guidelines. If a student uses AI, they're still responsible for the final output, mistakes and all.
The student has to own it, including any errors the AI introduced. No passing the buck to the algorithm.
Makes sense. What about access? Is there a risk AI tools create more inequality?
That's a major concern. They address the equity issue. If the best AI tools are expensive or require institutional subscriptions.
It could easily widen the gap between students who have access and those who don't.
So the authors strongly advocate for policies that ensure fair and equitable access for all students. Technology shouldn't become another barrier.
Okay, so grappling with bias, accountability, equity, these are big hurdles. How has the book itself been received?
Overwhelmingly positively from what I've seen. Reviewers really praise its practicality, its clarity. They like that it offers a balanced approach.
So less about fear, more about a realistic roadmap.
Exactly. It's seen as a lifeline for educators who might feel overwhelmed, offering concrete, actionable strategies rather than just abstract warnings.
So wrapping up, what are the final takeaways, the author's key recommendations for educators moving forward?
They really encourage openness to experimentation. Don't be afraid to try things out.
And collaborate with students on setting those AI use policies.
Yes, that collaboration piece is huge. And show a genuine willingness to adapt assignments, really rethink them, to prioritize and reward human effort and critical thinking.
It sounds like fostering a classroom culture based on integrity, transparency, and ultimately high expectations for what student work means.
That's it perfectly. The book provides a solid framework for navigating this new era. It positions AI as an asset, not a threat, if handled thoughtfully.
It offers practical, insightful ways to build a classroom that's equitable, creative, and productive, where human learning is actually elevated, not made obsolete.
Couldn't said it better myself.
So, reflecting on all this, what does it really mean for the future? The book fundamentally challenges us, I think. If AI can handle the product, the essay, the code, the summary, how do we effectively motivate students to value the process?
Yeah, the critical thinking, the struggle, the messy part where original connections are made.
That truly human part of learning, how do we keep that central?
That's the vital question, isn't it? For anyone involved in education right now.
This book seems like absolutely essential reading for navigating that question.
Truly essential, I agree.
Click the link on screen to subscribe, share, purchase the book via the link, and as always, think rationally.
And you can see the many genre-based book analyses at Mindful Moments. Subscribe and nourish your mind on the go.